States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, this is the Board of Commissioners meeting, Tuesday, September 6th. It's a little past 10 o'clock, and we're going to move right into the consent agenda. Melanie?
Approval of payroll, August 5th, August 19th, September 2nd, 2022. Approval of claims, August 5th, 18th, 25th, and September 1st, 2022. Approval of minutes for August 2nd, 2022. Weights and measures monthly reports, May 16th to June 15th, June 16th to July 15th, and July 16th to August 15th, 2022.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose same sign. Motion carries. We'll go into venue rental agreements now. Commissioner Blaney?
Silverleaf Booking and Porter County LGBTQ Outreach, both under Memorial Opera House, for venue rental agreements.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose same sign. Motion carries. Next, we're going to get into the Commissioner's Business Now agenda. Next up, we've got the Sheriff Department, Major Gary Gears here with Deputy Manifold is also joining him today. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
This is a contract for sale that we would be acting on for sale of personal property at a public auction pertaining to vehicles, bicycles, and miscellaneous items. This is something we have every year. Want to give us the lowdown here, Gary?
Sure. I think you have the list in front of you. Sheriff's Department, facilities, juvenile detention center, animal shelter, and Porter County 911 just submitted vehicles.
Yep.
That's all we have this year.
Okay. Any other questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for Latinsky Auctioneers LLC for a contract for sale of personal property at a public auction pertaining to vehicles, bikes, and miscellaneous items. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose same sign. Motion carries. When is this sale?
October 7th.
October 7th. Okay, so, thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Have a good day, guys. Stay safe. Next up, 911. We have a request to transfer funds.
Hello.
Hello. So we have a request to transfer funds here. Could you give us what you're transferring the funds out of and into, for what reason?
Out of salaries into overtime. We've had, over the past year and a half, 17 employees leave. So we've had to rely much more than we'd like to on our overtime. In addition to that, we've also been very proactive in preparing for P1, and so we offered overtime as well. So that's where the reason behind our request for transfer.
Well, we've had problems with overtime out there more than the last year and a half. We've had a problem with overtime out there for quite some time. And that always seems to be the juggernaut we're in here. I know where we're at today. I don't think there's a way around this, but it's obviously something that needs to be dealt with and figured out a way to try to limit the amount of overtime that we spend there, and that's through proper staffing.
Absolutely.
So I think that's something that we really need to engage in and get moving on again. So just my comments.
What is your office hearing as to the primary reason we're losing, people are leaving?
We're finding that the 911 center actually is a very good training facility for other dispatch centers in the private sector, such as the railroad, NIPSCO. In the past, the mill, yeah, in the past 6 months, that's where our employees have left for. And I understand we can't compete with their salaries in the private sector, but when you can leave a job and make $40,000 more, I can understand why people are leaving. And that's why we've lost a considerable number of our dispatchers. We've lost to the railroad alone in the past, I'd venture to say 2.5 years, we've lost 3 fully trained dispatchers to the railroad. We've just recently lost 1 to NIPSCO, and we've also lost a few to the mill.
Well, we can't continue down that road. I mean, that's not sustainable. We're going to have to do something internally to make it more attractive to stay. So
I agree.
what that is exactly, I'm not sure, but it sounds to me it's going to be, we're going to have to look at wages and make those adjustments somehow, some way.
Okay. So we have a request to transfer funds.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to transfer funds from salaries, $50,000 into overtime. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next
Real
up,
quick, have
Yeah.
we made any movements to recruit more people? Because if we know they're going to be leaving, it seems like we should get more in training.
You're absolutely right, and I agree with you. We've been fortunate enough to actually hire 4 people from Lake County within the past couple months, well, since the beginning of July, actually. 1 went through training at an expedited pace because of her experience, which I think has benefited us. We've been able to augment our shortages with people of experience. Regarding the training aspect, our training turnaround is about 6 months now. So realistically, when you consider every perspective involved here, every aspect involved here, we're looking at cost of inaction. And I'd like to second Commissioner Biggs's idea of making this a more appealing place to work regarding wages, and it's something that we really need to dive into, because with our training being 6 months long, and fortunately being able to pick up some of these people with experience, we've been able to cut some of that time down. But now we're looking into the amount of trainers that we actually have in the center as well. And that's another aspect that is difficult. We're looking at ways to incentivize our CTOs, because the CTO, in my opinion, has the most difficult position on the floor, barring the responsibility level that the supervisors have. CTOs are tasked with 12 hours literally tethered to another person in the room. And so with paltry stipends, in my opinion, it's very difficult to keep a CTO in the position. That's another aspect that we've tossed around, and we've presented ideas, and I'm kind of brainstorming with my team regarding how we can make this more appealing for trainers. But realistically, if we have all of our trainers with trainees,
Which we do now.
which we do now, our hands are tied bringing new people on anyway. So these are all challenges that we're facing that aren't new to the center, but we're working through them.
Could you repeat again how many dispatchers we've lost in whatever time period you quoted?
Year and a half, it's 17 now? Yeah, 17 in a year and a half.
That's a bleed out. That's not bleeding, it's a bleed out.
It is.
I don't know how you, something's going to have to be done here quickly.
Thank you.
okay, next up, you have a request to lease some concept seating chairs. Still buying stuff over there, huh?
Yes, we are. We have chairs. Actually, I passed out before I sat an update. We're leasing chairs now. That's what I have on the agenda here. I'd like to propose a lease. The last time we purchased chairs was in 2017, and the chairs that I actually have a list of problems with them. And we found, as I explored a leasing option, that these chairs are the same chairs that we actually purchased, but there's going to be, the warranties ran out on these chairs. And so the leasing option provides entirely new chairs once a year. And in the meantime, if there's any malfunctioning of these chairs, we get replacement parts, which we've been given a demonstration how easy that these replacement parts are to do ourselves in-house. And if there's a malfunction of the chair that we're unable to handle, they've told us they'll be in within 4 to 5 days at no charge with a brand-new chair for us. So realistically, keeping these chairs new, as you can imagine, a dispatcher's responsibility is a chair for 12 hours straight. They need good chairs, as officers need good squad cars, as everybody else needs to do their job. Chair is vital to a dispatcher. So they are high-quality chairs, and now with the leasing option, they're going to be replaced at yearly, and the replacement parts will be at no charge to us.
I'm glad that you clarified that. These are not office chairs, these are dispatching chairs, which is, as everybody understands, we never shut down. So somebody's sitting in those chairs 24/7, 365 days a year, for the most part.
They're literally called 24/7 chairs.
Are they? Well, there you go.
Yeah. If this lease is approved, there's also a buyback. They will buy back our current old chairs, which we have 8 of them. They'll give us $100 each, which would be $800 credit towards this lease contract.
And that's the paperwork, thank you, Paige. That's the paperwork that I passed out to you. When I initially put this on the agenda, I had forgotten that they had offered this to us. So my Labor Day weekend was thinking, how can I get this updated? And fortunately, the company provided us with the new quote showing the $800 credit and the decreased lease amount then.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for a request to lease 7 concept seating chairs for the 911 center. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Auditor Vicki Urbanek.
Same thing.
Morning.
Good morning,
Vicki.
Commissioners. Okay, the first item I have before you is another written agreement with one of our subrecipients for our ARPA funding. This is an agreement with Center Township. As you recall, the Commissioners approved a plan and the Council appropriated up to $500,000 for the different township trustees. This written agreement spells out the terms and conditions of the Center Township ARPA allocation, which is being proposed in a variety of different areas. One is assistance to households in the form of poor relief help, as well as gas cards and grocery vouchers and V-Line tokens. Some of the funding is also designated for 2 years towards their social workers' pay. Another allocation is for nonprofits with which they have a partnership, and another portion is reserved for premium pay for 3 of their workers. So with your approval, this will be another written agreement, and there will be more.
And Vicki, this allocation is outside of this late, the ARP funds that the council's been holding here for the better part of a month.
Yes.
Okay.
I like to think of our ARPA plan in 3 phases, and this was the first phase
Okay.
that has already gone through the entire process.
Motion to approve,
One or both?
both, if we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to approve both,
Approve.
both.
The resolution for the,
Oh, the resolution is something different.
I'll amend my second to only the.
The Center Township ARP agreement, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, resolution supporting Operation Greenlight for veterans.
Yes. Commissioners, this item I bring to your attention as a member of the National Association of Counties Human Services and Education Committee. There's a resolution before you that calls for designating Porter County as a participant in Operation Greenlight. This is a national initiative by NACO that is intended to show support for our veterans and to call attention to the plight that many veterans have in accessing public services for which they are eligible. Participants in Operation Greenlight will commit to shining green lights on their buildings during the week of November 7th through 13th. as a sign of support for our veterans. In our county, we would have at least 2 buildings participating. The County Administration Center, this building, as well as our county building that is a living memorial to veterans, the Memorial Opera House. If you approve this resolution, we would then reach out to offices, urging them to decorate their offices in green lights during that week. We would also have some other outreach materials planned. The green lights are a symbolic gesture, but overall, they show that veterans are seen, appreciated, and supported. And so I respectfully request your approval of this resolution, and then I will report to NACO that we are an official green light county.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you very
Vicki.
much.
Next up, Clerk Jessica Bailey.
And she had to go to a clerk's meeting this week.
Oh, so she will not be here. We have a memorandum of agreement for Indiana Legal Help Kiosk Project. Have you looked over this agreement,
I have, it's,
Scott?
yes, it's an MOU. We are a pilot program. The Indiana Legal Help Kiosk will provide a resource for Hoosiers looking for housing-related legal help. Basically, the kiosk will be at the clerk's offices and allow to have an interface into not only my case, that's where the court records are held, but other I guess other applications that will be available on the actual kiosk itself to help with housing-related issues as well. So this is a pilot program. The agreement we have to do just has to deal with it being allowed in the buildings of the county.
Okay.
Did you say what buildings they would be placed in?
Clerks, the 2 courthouses.
The 2 courthouses. And it's not a requirement, evidently it's a freestanding,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a kiosk, a freestanding kiosk.
Motion to approve.
Second, and I applaud her for her efforts here. The clerk's office is not allowed to provide legal advice to clients who are needing help, and it's a big problem. So this is a good way to start trying to address it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, IT Department, Lee Childress, Director. Morning, Lee.
Good morning.
What do you got?
So this past February, you signed a lease agreement for 11 copy machines by Savin, and Savin with COVID problems and everything else hasn't been able to deliver. So this contract before you is a new lease agreement which cancels out the old one. We add an additional copy machine because we had one break and was not repairable. And the lease agreement using a different brand, same features side by side, is $100 less per month, so.
This took us a year to get there.
It just took us a year.
All right?
This, they tell me that the copiers will be in place by the end of the month now if we go with
Okay,
this.
good.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second on a request to cancel approval of a lease from Adams Renco for Savin copiers from the February 22nd meeting due to lack of copier inventory and replace the order with Toshiba copiers. The new contract will include new copier for voters, and the original contract was for 63 payments at $1563.61 each. The new lease is for 63 payments at $1463.80 each. So all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Secondly, I have a maintenance agreement with DocuWare for $18,000 that I just need transferred so I can pay them.
We're using a lot more DocuWare, aren't
We
we?
use it a lot. It's well utilized.
Yeah, okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on transfer of funds for other equipment in the amount of 18 grand to maintenance agreements. This is to cover the maintenance agreements for information and records associates for DocuWare maintenance agreements. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lee. Lori Daly, Expo Center. Morning, Lori. Survived the fair?
Yeah. Yes. Took a little recouping, but.
Yeah, I'll bet. So you got a request to approve a contract for, what's this for now?
So on November 5th, we decided to not do our garage sale in the fall. It's losing its luster, so we had an open Saturday. So we booked a Bob Seger tribute band. We're going to have a little concert.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve a performance agreement with Night Moves. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, we have approve a contract. Why don't you go over this one here, because this one's sort of,
So the part of the 3-year internal on the sprinkler system was done before fair.
Yeah.
This is to finish that up and then follow it up with the 5-year. So within the next month, they'll finish the 3-year and then go into the 5-year in January.
are they looking at, while they're in there doing their work, are they looking at the things that would need to be required? Because there are different
Yes.
things for a 5-year.
Yes, the 5-year is a lot more extensive, so that's why we're putting it off till January when we have a little more downtime.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve a contract with Effie Moran to complete the 3-year internal inspections on the sprinkler system and perform the 5-year inspection on the sprinkler system. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Lori. Next up, Daniel Sullivan, Facilities. Good morning
Hi, Commissioner.
and welcome.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
So what you got for us here?
I've got a proposal for signage improvements at the North County Complex building. As you know, that complex is shared with the Portage Township. And right now, it just basically displays that it's a county building, but there's a lot of services that are Portage Township there as well. So this will add significant upgrades to that. Wayfinding, building numbers, because right now both the two buildings don't have numbers on them, so it'll help us confirm what those are. And it's funded, I believe you've got both proposals in front of you, the one that we're paying for as well as the one that Portage Township has. So we're basically splitting the cost of it.
Okay. Like we do everything up there on. Any comments or questions?
Are they just, are they putting up a new sign or just
Yep.
changing a sign that we have?
All the above. So the existing one is, oh, that's right, there's pictures on there, so.
Yeah, we got those.
Existing one's getting replaced, just to kind of update it, make it look like the rest, and bring all the buildings together. I think that'll help. The wayfinding, there's wayfinding signage up there, basically to say, go this way for that and that, but it's just not as professional looking. Done very well by our highway department, no offense, but this will bring it all together.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on Steiner Signs. This is a quote for signage at the North County Annex in the Portage Township Trustee's Office. The bills will be split. We're going to vote on these quotes together. So all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Welcome aboard, Daniel.
Next up, Highway.
Good morning.
Morning. So what do you got here on the first one here, Jim?
Ford F-350s, what we started doing a couple years ago was started
You have a
using...
request here for a transfer.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't look at that.
That's all right.
We're running a little low on the overtime budget due to 2 big snowstorms we had this past winter. So hopefully we don't have to use this in December, but just in case, it's there. We have plenty of money in our hourly due to just lack of staffing throughout the year.
Are we ready to go for snow plowing?
We're ready. We've got salt domes full of salt, so hopefully we don't use it.
Sad thing to plan for right now, but I said it's hard to plan for it right now, but
Right. Well, now
we
they're
need
talking a
to.
warmer than normal fall, so we'll see what happens.
The people are all ready to go.
What is also, you had said 2 snowstorms. Anything else affecting that's draining that hourly account?
Well, obviously throughout the whole summer, anytime trees go down, fire department calls for barricades. So I think this weekend, over the 4 days, I had called out 6 different occasions, so it doesn't take long to chew into overtime at those rates. But the more windstorms you get, more trees come down,
Yeah.
more guys gotta call out.
Motion to approve. Did you make a motion? Second.
Oh, we have a motion and a second on the transfer of funds for highway. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Pose same sign, motion carries. Next up, lowboy.
Okay. The lowboy tractor we have now is just approaching 20 years old, and it has 500,000 miles on it. It was down this spring for about a month, and we had to have contractors move our excavator around from job to job. And then while we're chip sealing, this is the piece of equipment that moves all our rollers around. So, and it's getting to the point now where we have to have duct tape over the cab corners to keep the birds from coming in there and making nests in it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on a request to purchase a lowboy semi-tractor trailer from M&K Truck Centers in the amount of $160,564.30. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Pose same sign, motion carries. Next up, you have a bucket truck.
Our current bucket truck is 17 years old, and it has to be certified annually. And the last couple of years, it's been touch and go as far as being certified because it has to be non-conductive, and there's so much rust on the piece of equipment, and the paint is non-conductive. Right now, it's been at the certified repair facility for about 2 months. We didn't get repairs done on it. They're back ordered on hydraulic hoses, so we have not been able to trim trees like we should be through the whole summer. So we need to get another bucket truck coming, and it's looking like 12 to 24 months if we order it now.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on a purchase of a bucket truck from Alltech Industries in the amount of $193,334. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carries.
How long do you think you're gonna have to wait on the semi-tractor?
They said they're just still waiting on a hose.
I mean, for the new one.
Oh, the new one, 12 to 24 months. So maybe next summer or the summer after. That seems to be the way everything's going right now.
Jesus.
And then next, what you got up next here?
5 F-350s. What we'll do with these is we started a few years ago using pickup trucks in subdivisions and for plowing snow, and that really helped a lot. So what we're looking at doing is adding 5 more trucks, and these will be 4-door F-350s. So they'll also be used to haul crews around from job to job. Instead of guys having to pile in multiple big dump trucks, we can put in a 4-door pickup truck and go to the same location. We'll be able to use the dump trucks that we're replacing with these smaller trucks as a trade-in towards the lowboy semi tractor. And at the rate the used truck market is right now, hopefully it'll cover the whole cost of that truck.
How long we gotta wait for these?
Ford is opening up their bids, or not their bids, the order bank at the beginning of October. So Enterprise estimated spring to early summer.
And how many of the big dump trucks do we have? It's like 50-something?
With our spares and our chip trucks, yeah, it's about 50.
Yeah. So and what we're gonna do is we're gonna still keep some of the bigger trucks, but we're gonna have.
Correct. What we'll do is we'll redo the snowplow routes so that the bigger trucks can concentrate on the main routes, and then the smaller trucks can get into the subdivisions quicker.
Yep.
You know, like down, I plow snow, and when I do it with my pickup truck, I literally leave my driveway and I start hitting subdivisions down there in Morgan Township. So I already have 4 or 5 of them done before the guys are even off the main roads pulling into the subs, so.
Yep.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Pose same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Jim.
All right, thank you.
Next up, Development Stormwater Management, Bob Thompson. Hey, guys.
Morning.
What do you got? It's like a performance agreement?
Yeah, I'll let Mike discuss this one. This is a performance agreement with Duneland School Corporation.
Yeah, and this ties in with the next agenda item as well, but essentially what we've done here is required a performance agreement from Duneland School Corp. On their Liberty Intermediate School building renovations and building additions. And so this covers the cost of all the site improvements, specifically the stormwater management improvements that are required by our ordinances, with the agreement being that they will complete that site work concurrently or following the building renovations and building additions. So following the same sort of track as a residential subdivision, we require all those site improvements to be built before the houses can be built, for example. So this sort of follows that same logic in that it's giving the school corporation flexibility to get the project done in accordance with their tight timeline, and it's just giving us, the county, the guarantee that we need to see that they're going to get all of that site work done eventually.
This is obviously something you've negotiated with the school.
Yeah, and Attorney McClure, I know, worked with legal counsel from the school corporation on final terms of the agreement, so I believe the agreement's in good order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on a performance agreement between the Duneland School Corporation and Porter County Government. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose same sign. Motion carries. Next up, we have Duneland School Corp. This is a zoning map amendment. This is our rural residential to IN, an institutional district. Give us the go-ahead, give us the...
Duneland School Corporation is adding a small parcel of land
And where
that's
is-
to the east side of their Liberty Elementary School on 900 North there, right at 50 West. The purpose of this land parcel is for additional parking and also some drive access and school buses going in and out of the site. It is zoned rural residential right now, and to be able to make these improvements on it, they need to have the zoning district changed to IN institutional.
Yeah, and just for clarification purposes, it's not industrial, it's
it's
institutional,
it's
which means
institutional.
schools.
Schools, yes.
And that's the only classification it can be, is schools only. So just want to, because we've had that happen before, where someone thought it was they thought it was industrial, and it was, I just wanted to make so everybody was understood that it means schools.
Motion to approve.
Well, we got to do a first reading here because we got to give some public comment for people to speak on either side. So we're going to close, we're going to suspend the commissioners' hearing, open up a public hearing. We're going to give 3 opportunities to come forward to speak in favor, 3 opportunities to come forward to speak against this rezone. So first call, anybody wishing to come forward to speak against this rezone. Second call, anybody wishing to come forward to speak against this rezone. Third and final call, anybody wishing to come forward to speak against this rezone. First call, anybody wishing to come forward to speak in favor of this rezone. Second call, anybody wishing to come forward to speak in favor of this rezone. Third and final call, anybody wishing to come forward to speak in favor of this rezone. And the public hearing is now closed. I'll throw it to the floor for action.
Motion to approve.
Second on first reading.
We have a motion and a second on first reading. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Pose same sign. Motion carries. Second reading will be at the next commissioners' meeting. Thank you. Next up, Lockmuir Group. We have an agreement for design services for Bridge 56. Where is Bridge 56, Bob?
Bridge 56 is on 1050 South. It's between Baum's Bridge Road and 50 East. This is the bridge that
went away.
Yeah, we had to close immediately. It had failed, and it failed to carry a load. We saw a deflection happen on it. by a small delivery truck, so we had to come down there and close it immediately, and it's still closed. This is for the replacement of the structure, I should say the design services for the replacement of the structure. We are hoping to, if all goes well with this design structure, to be in construction by this time next year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for Block-Mueller Group, an agreement for design services for Bridge 56. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Just wanted to let you guys know, I was at a wedding this weekend with a bunch of folks from South County, and they were all very happy about the new bridge that opened up on Smoke Road. It turned out real nice. Got a lot of good comments, so.
It turned out very nice.
Yeah, so just wanted to make that comment. It's looking good down here. Next up, we have a performance agreement between Lakeshore Development LLC pertaining to Magnolia Meadows Phase 3.
Yeah, so this is Old Top Homes, AKA Lakeshore Development LLC, has reached substantial completion on their public and common improvements serving Phase 3 of the Magnolia Meadows subdivision, which is on County Road 550 North, just east of Tower Road or County Road 250 West. At this point, they're seeking secondary plat approval, which will allow them to proceed with obtaining building permits for houses in that third phase. This performance agreement covers some minor remaining improvements and maintenance of those improvements as they dive into that building permit phase. So we're recommending approval of this performance agreement this morning.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on a performance agreement between Lakeshore Development LLC pertaining to Magnolia Meadows Phase 3. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And last, we have an acceptance of the United Consulting Small Structure Report.
Yes, this started up under, excuse me, when Matt Gavelic was with the Highway Engineering section. Matt approached Mike and I about doing a small structure inventory report on this, and basically to define what a small structure is a structure that would have an 8-foot span up to 20. Anything that's 20 and greater is already in our current bridge inventory. So we agreed on that. We had a work order with United. We dropped off at y'all's office there is the completed report on that. There were 33 structures that they went out and inspected. And to let you know, there was 5 of them they told us that we need to get on immediately. So one of them we think we are going to be able to do with our own bridge crews with the work on that and do some maintenance on it to keep it going on that. But there are 4 structures that we're going out for requesting for design services out. We already have the invitation to bid on for those services. So
These precast or these?
2 of them are pipes.
Oh, okay.
One of them is up on Brummett Road, has about 12 foot of cover on top of it. The pipe is rusting out and it's also buckling where it's starting to come down in the middle. So we are on that one, trying to get on that one immediately. Another one, there's 3 pipes that's down on 150 South, just west of 100 West, and 2 of those pipes are totally rusted out on the bottoms. Another one is up on Meridian Road. That one is just north of US 6 by the Timberland subdivision. That is one that we knew that we were probably going to have to get to. That was about a 15-foot wide structure, or span structure, excuse me, that is in poor shape, and we're going to have to jump on that one. The last one is on 750 West, North Union Township. It has a abutment wall that is leaning. You'll see on the report there, some of the pictures on it, it's just in bad shape. So out of those 4 structures that we're going to be going out for design services, we're pretty confident that 3 of these, once they get through the hydraulics and the design of them, are going to be turned into full bridges where they're going to be spanning greater than 20 feet. So.
And why do you think that that's going to be the case?
Damon Run, for example, is just recently, within the 2017 DNR study, is now a floodplain in these locations. So, yeah, it's just widening out. So we know upstream they already had to put in a 19-foot wide or 19-foot span structure. And in this area, we're pretty confident that it's going to be greater than 20. The one on 150 South, culverts can, when you have a series of them together, when you look at the span, they can become considered a bridge structure. We do have a few of those within our bridge inventory currently. It all depends on the separation between the culverts. And United called me up and they sat there and said, well, if we measure on one side, it's a bridge. We measure on the other side, it's not a bridge. What do you want to classify it as? Let's call it a small structure right now. And then it's that one, again, we're going to be confident is going to turn into a bridge.
Yeah, that one in particular has a significant drainage area, as well as the current culvert configuration. Bob mentioned the culverts are in a deteriorated state and they're in need replacement anyway, but they constantly catch debris and cause roadway overtopping. So that existing opening clearly isn't very adequate to convey, one, the water, but then also everything else that's carried in the water, the debris that, that comes downstream. So, yeah, I'm in agreement with that one. That one looks certainly like it'll need a significantly larger single opening.
You guys have any idea what the average age of those 5 structures are? 30, 40 years? Just trying to get a beat on it.
That one on Meridian has got to be, what, about 50?
Better than 50.
Yeah, more than 50 years old.
They used items from railroads on that, yes. Our consultant wasn't able to do a load rating on that, and was very concerned with
They had some
that.
leftovers, huh?
So,
Weren't we experiencing some kind of pavement failure right there?
Not at the stream crossing in particular, but yeah, there were some edge of pavement issues, actually related to utility construction, just south of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, bad news, right? So,
Well, the good news is the other 29 or so are not in need of immediate replacement.
yeah, we're getting them off the list, but it seems like we take off 10 and we add 3. We take,
Yes, I think most importantly though, right, is the track we've gone on is
Yeah,
to
we're-
assess, figure out what we've got, what we really need to do, and then to make the plans to take care of those in priority order.
we're starting to be proactive.
And the bridge fund has been
Yes.
made.
Yes.
We certainly appreciate,
Yeah.
the board support, council support in getting that bridge fund where it needed to be.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So what the board would need to do here is we would have to accept this document here. That's what's on the board, the floor.
Motion to accept United Consulting Small Business Structure Report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you
Thank you,
very much.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
Next up, Teresa Biggs. I don't know if Teresa is here. Yep, there she is. She is requesting to hold a rosary rally on the courthouse grounds at the northeast corner on Saturday, October 15th, 2022, from 11:30 a.m. till 1 p.m. There will be approximately 25 to 30 people will be in attendance.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the Rosary Rally on the courthouse grounds, October 15th, 2022. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. And that is, we are now at the end of our meeting here, and we would now like to ask anybody who wishes to address this board to please come forward, state your name, your address, and anything else you want to say.
My name is Dawn Miller. I live in Valpo. Just a couple questions. Do we know what funding is actually going to be used for the Memorial Opera House since it's been switched from ARPA to the foundation now, so it's now, I guess. Are we going back to ARPA for the Opera House?
We don't do the funding.
I'm sorry?
County council funds things.
Oh, I just thought I'd ask, okay. Has the cost changed from the 6.8 million?
Yes,
Oh, has it went up or has it went down?
it's gone up.
Do we know the number?
It's about 7 now.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
I just want to say for the record, because there are people, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, go ahead.
No, really, you should.
Hi, good morning. I'd like to speak specifically to the need to increase artistic opportunities here in Valparaiso, specifically the Memorial Opera House. My name's David Lee. I own Hot Shop Valpo Glass Blowing Studio here in town. And over the last 9 years, or 9 years ago, I opened the studio specifically as an art opportunity, but more importantly for a place where folks could come and experience art that they might not otherwise have a chance to do. I also sit on the board of the Valparaiso Creative Council here in town, which has the stated mission of doing very much the same. I've been in Valpo for over 20 years, and I've watched the continued growth of the city in many different ways, from expanding the parks, doing great things with our community, small business growth. All of these types of things are extremely important. My thought really is the last great growth opportunity here in town is specifically with the arts. We need to expand the opportunities for people to experience the arts, not just artists, but more importantly, non-artists. We need places where non-artists can go to expand their horizons within the arts. I feel like the arts are a very integral part of a community. Now, I know that budgeting and funding requirements are a key issue across the board. When you're talking about things like bridges and infrastructure that we've talked about here this morning, I think that we would be remiss if we overlook the arts as something that's very integral in the infrastructure of a community. I feel like it grows the community in and of itself. It grows the health of the community in that it expands people's minds. It opens their minds to other things outside of what is important to them specifically. We've got a great opportunity here in the preservation and the renovation of the Memorial Opera House. It's a foundational location from which we as a community can continue to build the foundation of the arts. When you look at the great communities around the state and around the nation, these thriving communities have a lot of things that are important to them, but not the least of which is the arts. So I think we should really focus on that and continue to focus on that. We need to make sure that we're able to expand programming for the youth of our community. We know that when you're talking about budgetary constraints, when we look at the schools, the first things that are cut in schools are the arts, shops, and those types of things. I feel it's important that we as a community continue to build opportunities for our youth outside of schools and to be able to do that within the arts. We have an opportunity here, and I think it's our responsibility as a community to continue to preserve this building that's so important to us. And by the way, as a 22-year retired Marine, first, thank you for approving Operation Greenlight. And second, this building is extremely important to me and those like me because of what it was built for, as a memorial to those that have lost their lives during the Civil War, and then subsequently on throughout the rest of our nation's wars. I feel like that this investment is integral, and we have to move forward with it. Thank you.
Anybody else? Something you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, based on a few emails I received this weekend, there are people out there, some in this room, that seem to have determined that I have somehow instructed the council to hold ARPA funding until the Opera House gets passed, and that is not true. And they are perfectly capable of thinking on their own, and believe it or not, there are more county elected officials that support fixing our building and doing it right than just me. Other people out of the 10 council and commissioners, almost everyone as a matter of fact, see the value in the arts and of having a strong, thriving community there. I won't go into the myriad of ways it benefits the community. It's just incredible, an incredible benefit. It will live beyond the $7 million that we would need to spend on it. So I just wanted to clear that up. I've tried to get it on the agenda. I would love to see this go forward, and I will continue to work for it. But the council, they can think for themselves. And I wish I had that power. It would be built by now if I did.
Yeah, really.
Anybody else? And with that, we stand in recess. Thank you.